Hey there, I'm Sam Flegal, and I'm an artist. If you're curious about seeing my work, you can go to fatefulsigns.com. So, for me at least, I'm about a week into the whole social distancing thing. I posted last week about things artists could do, options that we had, but I kind of want to talk today about the reality of what I thought versus what's actually been happening. So, I encouraged everyone to make more art. I still encourage everyone to make more art. Heck, even if you're an artist, making art is super fun. If you ever thought about drawing or painting, you can order some art supplies online, have them delivered to your house, make a mess. You could get your kids involved. It'd be a super fun way to spend the day. But I'm more talking to those artists out there who are trying to figure out how to make their money, how to make their income, and how to adjust to this life where we no longer have conventions, no more public gatherings, and we're having to switch to more online strategies. So I said, make more art, right? We've got more time. I listed out the schedule that was like 5 days of driving and setting up a booth and being at a convention and what all that would look like, right? So here I am on the other side of that. And it didn't go exactly as planned because the difference is when I drive, I'm by myself. When I set up my booth, it's me and my assistant or people that I have hired to help me who are all focused on a task. And then when I'm at the convention, you don't have a lot of choices. Heck, you barely even get to eat. So you're focused and you're working. I did not experience that same focus being at home. And there's a few factors there. The first one being that both my wife and my daughter are now at home. My wife is working from home. She's set up in another room. My daughter's school has been canceled for the next 3 weeks. And let's be honest, guys, we don't know how long those sorts of things are going to change. And so with the kid being home, and I just have my one daughter who, amazing, in case you're wondering, but imagine having 2 kids or 3 kids, and I can only just heartfelt out to you guys because productivity is very different when, they need to eat, right? And so who cooks the meals? Because you're probably not going out to eat and you're probably not ordering takeout as much as you used to. And so we're all cooking a lot more. And that takes time. And it's not just me who's like, hey, I'll grab a sandwich and be done. Or, I'll just pop out and get a quick lunch and then come back and keep working. That's not how this works. So there's time involved in caring for your family and the people you're with. And we gotta be realistic about what sort of time there actually is. And then the second thing, which is related to the first thing, is that there's lots of interruptions, not just the food, but, hey, Dad, can I do this? Or, sweetheart, let's do this thing. And, so there's this ebb and flow back and forth. And at this time, especially with all of us being home together, like their mental health and my own mental health was way more important to me than making art. And then added to that is we got to figure out a schedule because a big part of our schedule was based on wife goes into work, kid goes off to school. Suddenly I have this block of time without interruption where I'm at home working. And I've been doing that for 10 years. So working from home, that part doesn't feel so different to me. I'm able to focus and do the things that I need to do. In fact, maybe I'll do an update later talking about tips for working from home. But right now, it's just more like, what is the schedule? What is the day? Weekends don't really mean anything when you're all home all the time, not really leaving. And morning, evening, sure, like the sun still rises and sets, but it's just there is very little schedule. And so you have to create a schedule is what I'm learning. And I'm finding more and more leaning towards the idea of making sure I get up at 6 a.m. and go straight into work and making that first part of the day working so much important. Another thing I have been taking on is I have been working out more. I feel like now is the time, if there ever was one, to become physically fit and capable. We don't know where all this is going, but I personally know that I want my body to be in top fighting condition. And so, eating more vegetables, eating home cooked food, working out every day. And I worked out 5 days last week. And so I would encourage all of you to start considering those things as well. All right, so let's talk about what things I was able to focus on this past week. I did work on an art commission, finished it, waiting to get paid, but commissions are going to be more of a thing that we do again, because it's that direct reward and task. Person wants art, you make art, you get paid, so on and so forth. And I think a lot of artists are going to be looking at taking more commissions moving forward. Heck, if you've ever been thinking about wanting a commission from an artist, now's a great time, as there's a lot more flexibility that people are willing to consider, whereas before their time might have been focused on other things. The other thing I focused on is getting out a sale. I've taken all the convention stuff that I would have sold at a con, and I've got it up on my website, or I should say most of it, and I've thrown a 20% off sale on everything at Fateful Signs. That took time. I mean, let's be real, that took hours of photographing the merchandise, setting it up in the store, editing the entry, and then setting up coupon codes for things so that the 20% applies. So you buy something at Fateful Signs, it looks like it's the normal price, and then you go to the cart and immediately it's like, by the way, 20% off your whole order. And that's just integrated into Squarespace, but that takes time to set up. In fact, it took me, I'd say honestly, about 4 to 6 hours. So that's a good, just full day of just taking everything I would have sold at cons, getting it online, and setting up a sale so I can start hyping those things. I'm also doing Artist Alley online, which is a conglomerate of artists who aren't able to do conventions right now. They've set up an online version of Artist Alley, which is super cool. Kudos to the guys who are running that thing. Andrew Thompson's the one who contacted me. We're going to see more and more stuff like that. And so I've been submitting to those sorts of things. Suddenly I'm very worried about, where's all this traffic coming from? And so trying to take care of those things to point more back at Fateful Signs. The other thing I did is I edited my Patreon, because patrons are really the people that are keeping everything afloat right now. That's the closest thing I have at the moment to a guaranteed income. And so those people are understandably some of the most important people to me right now. And so I have been posting more stuff to patrons. I've been showing them things that I'm not quite ready to show the rest of the world. That's all going there. And then I put out some surveys, finding out ways we could tweak things and make it better. And I just updated my tiers. And the 2 tiers I updated were things that I hadn't really been considering before. The first was at $10 a month. I'm going to do a monthly hangout where we talk about Norse mythology and art. Let's be real, we're all looking for times where we can gather with others, and I'm excited about the fact that I could host this time to talk about 2 of the things I just love to talk about, Norse mythology and art, and then get my community involved as well. And I think that's going to be really exciting for people. I hope that it is. And then I've also taken to where I'm going to have what I call the legacy print tier, where for $30 a month, someone is able to get a convention print that I normally don't sell online. I'm going to pick one each month and mail it to everybody who's at the $30 level. And so trying to adjust sales strategies and tactics, it all feels so new. And you know what? All that took time. It took me, I'd say, probably another 2 to 3 hours just editing Patreon. And so that's time not making art. And so I want to kind of revise my statement from last video of, like, things get bad, make more art. Yes, that's absolutely great advice. Maybe also when things get bad, restructure your company plan, look at your business model, look at other business models that are thriving right now, and see what you can change. Maybe there's some fat you can cut, you can get more lean. Also, maybe there's services you've thought about offering in the past. But I do panels at conventions all the time. I love talking to people. So that's always been a thing. Well, Is there a way to bring that sort of thing online? And not just with conventions online, but you personally, are there things and services that you can be offering now that you didn't offer in the past, because that's the way the winds are turning, that's the way things are going. So anyway, that's a week in. Hopefully you guys are still doing well. Hopefully you're taking care of your bodies, you're eating well, you're exercising, and you're looking to the mental health of not just yourself, but your family and the people that you might be trapped with. If you're isolated, I certainly hope you're taking advantage of a lot of these online ways to connect to people. And you know what? We're going to get through this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is another side to this, but we could be here for the long haul. So it's worth taking the time to just pause and consider. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts for this week. I'm hoping to do this as a weekly thing. And so if that interests you, I'm going to post some links for both the Fateful Signs sale and Patreon down below. Please check those things out if you want to support me and what I'm doing. I'd really appreciate it. And let's remember, guys, in this time of stress, it's so important that we love each other and we take care of the people around us, and we reach out to those people who might be isolated and need a little extra love, even if it's virtual hugs from afar. So virtual hugs to all of you. I love you, and I hope this next week is a better week for all of us. Thanks. Bye.